Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Electronics Maddie. In this video, I am going to demonstrate simulation of three-phase SPWM rectifier in PSIM PowerSim. In case you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe to it so that you'll be getting the videos that we post regularly. Alright, let's get into our topic for today. This is the PSIM model of a three-phase SPWM rectifier. At the first place, we need to understand what SPWM is all about. SPWM stands for sinusoidal pulse width modulation, and it is basically a technique that is used to provide switches the pulses that are required for the gate terminals. So how do we achieve that? We will use a carrier signal over here and we'll use a reference signal, sinusoidal signal. The carrier signal used is a triangular one. Sinusoidal is compared with the carrier signal using a comparator. The output that is obtained will basically be pulses of different widths. So if you use a normal gating block that was simulated in a three-phase fully controlled rectifier using normal technique, the signal that was given to the gating block will only have uniform pulses. Like if you have a square wave, it will only be a square wave of equal pulse width throughout. But having such a technique, it will provide different widths of the pulses. So consequently, whatever is required for the switches, it will adjust based on the supply that is there, and it will produce an output. So isn't this amazing? When you're synchronizing these switches based on the supply, you will always get the required output, and the switching losses with respect to the switches also will be less, and hence these type of circuits are popularly used in industrial applications. So how do we simulate them? So I'll be demonstrating step by step. Let's go to PSIM and start our simulation over there. All right, here we are in PSIM. So we'll be searching for the components over here. Go to sources and go to voltage. You'll be requiring a three-phase AC source, sinusoidal signal. So we'll require a ground in order to connect it to the ground terminals. And double click on this. We can set the frequency. Let us set the frequency to be equal to 50 and the voltage to be equal to 230, and close this window. Once this is done, we will be requiring a series RLC branch. So let us use series RL branch, and it should be three phase. So if you carefully observe, you have RL3 and that indicates it is for three phase. I'm using this as a source inductance to be connected in series with the AC source, just to ensure that the current still flows in the same direction, and it will smoothen the ripple content that is there with respect to the circuit, and that is why I am using that. Instead of using thyristors, let us use MOSFETs. So thyristors will be used in AC supplies because natural commutation take place and they will be switched off. But MOSFETs are popularly used, MOSFETs and IGBTs are popularly used for SPWM techniques. So I'll be connecting them in a form of a bridge in this particular fashion. So you can also use a thyristor bridge that is directly available in PSIM, but I wanted to show step-by-step simulation of how to connect them, and that is why I'm using 6 MOSFET switches. Once this is done, let us connect this between 3 points with respect to the respective phases A, B, C respectively. And if you carefully observe, there is additional nodes that are formed. So you have to be very careful while connecting this. So I'll be connecting now, and there is only one node formed over here, and there are no nodes formed here. Now let us double click on this. Let us choose a value of resistance to be equal to 0.5 ohms, and let the inductance be very small, 1 milli, and close that. So once this is done, now we will be using a resistive load. So you can try it for different loads as well. So I'll be connecting it between these 2 points. So apart from that, we'll be requiring a capacitor which is used as a filter in order to eliminate the amount of ripples that are there at the output. So, and get a pure DC waveform as far as possible. We'll be using a capacitor, and let us say the capacitance value is very high so that the ripple content will be as less as possible at the output terminals. So once this is done, now we will be requiring a comparator and as carrier waveform signal, that is a triangular waveform. So you can drag and drop the component over here, the triangular waveform signal, and I'll be connecting it to ground in this particular fashion. So I'll be zooming this out. So we will be requiring a lot of space for it to be connected. I also will be requiring a comparator, and 3 different comparators are required. So connect them in this particular fashion. Now I will be using the carrier for all of the 3 comparators in the same way. As a result, I'll be shorting them at the same point in this particular fashion. So once that is done, double click on this. Let me change the frequency of the carrier signal to be equal to 10 kilohertz. Apart from that, we don't have to change any other parameters with respect to it. So ensure that this is connected. So negative terminal is given. Now positive terminal will be taken from the sources, respective source terminals, that is from A, and again from B in this particular fashion, and again from C in this particular fashion. So once that is done, now the output that you get will basically be the pulses based on the comparison between sinusoidal signal and the carrier signal. So we will be requiring an on off switch controller. So if you see, if you place the component at this position, the cursor at this position, you'll be getting on off switch controller in the left hand side. So this is extremely important. So the reason why this is used is I'll be giving the control to the switches through these blocks, and the reason why these are used is because it ensures that the pulses that you get will be square wave, isn't it? And the width also will be different, so it will be 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. So when it is 0, it informs the switch that it is in 0 position, and when it is 1, it will inform that it is in 1. So that is why on off switch controller is used. So if you don't use this switch, then PSIM has been built such that without this functionality of this block, you will not be getting the output. The gate pulses will not be triggered for the switches that are there. As a result, we have to use this. So once that is done, we will also be requiring a NOT gate. So we will be having NOT gate over here. So rotate this by right clicking on the mouse, and we have to connect it to one of these switches that are to be triggered in each of these legs. Let us say the upper leg is given with the normal contact, and the lower leg is given with an inverted contact. So now I'll be connecting this at this point, and I'll be taking the tapping from this point, and this should be connected to this end, and the gate terminals can be connected over here. Again, this should be connected to this gate terminal directly. And once that is done, now I'll be giving it to this particular point, and I'll be taking the tapping from this, the switches pattern, the switching action. Based on the switching action, the pulses that are obtained from this comparator should be given to the second leg of the switches that are there. So I'm giving it in this particular fashion. Again, I will be giving it to the next leg of the switches that are there. I'll give one directly to the MOSFET switch and one through a NOT gate. NOT gate is just because in the same leg I don't want both the switches conducting at the same time, and if that happens, then that particular path will become short circuit. For example, if both these switches conduct simultaneously, then this will be short circuited, and the source will also be short circuited because of it. So in order to avoid that, we will never go for such a configuration. We'll always ensure there is a NOT gate that is used for the other switch that is there in the same leg. I hope this concept is clear, isn't it? So once that is done, the resistive load, let it be the same value that is there. Now we'll be using a voltage probe in order to measure the voltage, output voltage across the load terminals in this particular fashion. So now we have entered all the values with respect to the circuit, and we are switching all these switches from the output of the comparator. So now we will be requiring one of the most extremely important blocks, that is the simulation control block. Set the total time to 0.1. The reason why it is required is because we need the control of the simulation time. So for that, if you don't have that, automatically the x-axis that you get in the output waveform will not be decided. So you have to set the total time based on your requirement. I'm setting it to be equal to 0.1. If it is motor loads and all, set the total time for at least 5 seconds, because there will be transients for the motor loads, isn't it? So that is why we do that. So now click on run simulation, and you'll be getting the output in this particular fashion. And if you carefully see, you are getting a constant DC output voltage at the load. So this is how we will be simulating a three-phase SPWM based rectifier in PSIM. I hope you were able to simulate it. In case you have any questions, feel free to reach out by typing in your questions in the comment section below. If you like this video, please do like it, share it, and subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Thanks for watching this video. Meet you guys in another video.